The stage is centered around a brick wall which extends across the left half of the stage and ends in a small circle in the middle of the stage. The wall stands about 4 feet tall, similar to the one in Charlie Brown. On the front of the brick wall are the words "Jesus Rocks" graffitied in bright colors. Behind the brick wall, a small house is set. In the corner sits a desk and a panorama of a city out of which springs a large cross. There is a bright red door with a "Welcome Home, Son" sign on it. A short, cheery musical theme is heard as a young man, narrator, walks through the door. He is handsome and likely in his 20s or 30s. He wears a bright dress shirt and bow tie. He carries himself the way straight people think faggots carry themselves, but it's subtle. As he walks down the stairs towards the brick wall, he waves toward an audience as if it's going wild. He speaks very clearly and very exaggeratedly.
Hello, boys and girls. I just want to give all of you such a warm, special welcome. I'm so excited to have you here at my house today. Are you guys ready to learn about the Bible? I can't hear you. Well, we have a very special episode planned out for you today. And I just know God is watching us, and He is so excited for us to learn. What was that? You want to know what's in my backpack? Oh, well, wouldn't you like to know? I don't know if I should tell you. Can you guess? No. Nope, not that either. Any more guesses? No? Well, I guess I'll just have to show you all then.
Narrator pulls a few items out of the bag, naming them.
A roll of tape, a bottle of glue, a lock and a key, a hammer, and a few nails. I wonder what these could all mean. Any ideas? Well, I don't think I know either. But you know what? I think I've got one more friend in the bag here. Let me see.
Narrator reaches into the bag and pulls out a green snake puppet dressed in a 3-piece minister suit. I mean, that's some pretty obvious symbolism shit, right?
Well, if it isn't minister meaning. What are you doing hiding in my backpack? Surprise! Well, I thought you were never going to reach the bottom of that bag. You know, Minister, I really didn't see it coming. Boys and girls, I would love for you to meet my best and most special friend, Minister Meaning. He loves big hugs and long slithers on the beach. That's right. Although the hugs would be a lot easier if I had any arms. I'm just so glad you could join us here today. Well, I'm glad to be here too. You look very nice today, Reverend. I like your bow tie. Nice and dressed up for my show. Thank you. Whoa! That's a lot of stuff. What is that all for? Well, I was hoping you could help the boys and girls at home guess. Can you help tell me what each of these items do? Well, I think I know what the glue does. Now, what does glue do? When you have two things that you need to stick together, you can put glue on them, and the two things will stay together. Exactly. Do you know what any of the other things do? Well, I think the hammer and nails are for building things, but I don't exactly know how. Well, you're on the right track. You want to try them out? I have no arms! Aw, darn. Well, you're right. Maybe I can help you out here.
Narrator comes beside Meaning, wrapping his arm closely around Meaning to use the hammer. Together they hammer a nail into a piece of wood. It's intimate, but also awkward. The sound of metal being struck against metal is heard loudly. Probably a little too loudly.
See? You can use hammer and nails to keep two things together if you want them to stay together. I think I see a pattern here. Do you now? Now, what do the other things do? Well, tape can be used by fancy office people to stick two things together, and I think a lock can keep two things together pretty strongly, too. Or it can be used to hide buried treasure. Well, you really hit the nail on the head. You're exactly right, Pastor Meaning. Each of these things can be used to keep two things together for, well, almost forever. Wow! Forever is a long time. Forever is a very long time. It's so long that it goes on for, well, forever. Now, Meaning, you're a pastor. Can you tell me where the Bible talks about forever? Well, that's a tough question. The Bible talks about forever all the time. Well, you're not wrong. What are some examples? Well, God says he's going to love us forever. And he says someday we will be in heaven with him forever. And he says some people will be in hell forever. Well, what about people? Does God ever put two people together forever? Like hammer and nails? All the time! When a man and a woman love each other very much, God says they should get married and love each other forever. And like you said, forever is a long time. Yeah, but what about when a man and a man fall in love with each other? Well, God doesn't like that very much. Well, today we are going to be talking about what happens when two people who God doesn't want to be together fall in love. Homosexuality? That's right, homosexuality. Let's see here. No. What was that? I don't know. Maybe we should leave it up to those guys in the tech booth. Those clowns? Oh, brother. Anyways, like I was saying, today we are going to be talking about homosexuality. Now, homosexuality. Can you tell me what it means? Yep. Homosexuality is when two people of the same sex are attracted to each other. Now, is that right? Mm-hmm. When two people of the same sex think each other are pretty or handsome, and sometimes they date each other and fall in love. Did you hear that, boys and girls? Sometimes a man will fall in love with a man, or a woman will fall in love with a woman, and when they do that, we call them homosexual. It's true! Sometimes two men will even get married to each other. Sometimes they'll even have kids. That's crazy! But what does God say about that? Oh, he doesn't like it. Well, why is that? He says it lots of times in his book. Boys aren't supposed to marry boys. That's not the way it works. Boys marry girls, and they fall in love, and they court each other, and they get married, and they have kids. A girl is the lock, and the boy is the key. So boys can't marry boys. It's wrong. Well, yes. Why? Well, it's in the Bible. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't do our best to show love to gay people. I mean, but it's wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's wrong, but I'm saying it's wrong. right? Boys aren't supposed to marry boys. It's wrong.
He begins to stuff meaning back into his backpack with the rest of the items as well. He pauses briefly at the hammer and nails, looking at them for a moment before putting them back in.
Well, thank you for coming, Reverend Meaning. I learned a lot. Well, boys and girls, I hope you learned a lot from Reverend Meaning. I know I always do. Now, homosexuality is fascinating, isn't it? And I hope you guys are ready to learn even more about it, because we are about to head right into special guest time. Are you excited? I can't hear you. Oh, that's more like it.
Narrator quickly walks into the corner of the room, which is set up like a late-night talk show, complete with a small desk and a panoramic view of the city behind him. A large, life-size cross fits into the panorama. A short musical theme is played while Narrator slides across the top of the desk like he's sliding over a car in Dukes of Hazzard. He narrowly misses the art supplies which are scattered around the desk. He grabs a microphone from under the desk.
Welcome back to SGT. We are so excited to have you back, boys and girls. Now, we have already learned a lot about homosexuality, and more importantly, what God thinks about homosexuality. But are you ready to learn more? Please welcome our guests, 1 and 2.
Narrator pulls out 2 greatly disfigured puppets from the desk below him. Both puppets seem beaten down but bright. Narrator looks at both of them lovingly.
Well, hello. Hi. Hello. You know, I am just so excited to have you both here today. We're excited too. Now, I know both of you very well, but you know what? I don't think some of our friends know who you are at all. Would you mind telling our friends just a little bit about yourselves? Well, my name is Tu, and I'm 16 years old, and I'm from Grandville, Michigan. Well, it is lovely to meet you two. How about you? My name is One. I'm 18 years old, and I'm from a teeny tiny town called Moline. Now, it is lovely to meet you too, One. I'm so happy to have you both here. I hope you know that. Now, do you two know why I asked you to come help teach these boys and girls today? Well, maybe I should give you both a little hint. Today, I've been talking to Minister Meaning about marriage and what happens when a boy falls in love with a boy or a girl falls in love with a girl. Oh, can you guess why I asked you both to come here today? I identify as bisexual. That's right. And what about you, two? Lesbian. But I'm kind of looking at asexuality, but I'm not completely sure right now, so we're sticking with lesbian. Well, that's just great. So I'm hoping you can tell us a little bit more about what it's like to be gay. Are you ready to be our special guest on our special guest time? Well, I hope I can help. I haven't been gay for very long. I think you'll do just fine. Eek! Well, I sure hope so. Well now, would the two of you mind sharing a little bit more about yourselves? What do you two like to do for fun? Well, I've done theater for a long time. Also, I play the violin. I'm in multiple orchestras. I like to sing. And I play piano in my free time. So that's very fun. Wow, you sound like one talented puppet. How about you, One? Hang out with my friends, mostly. Lots of Netflix and wandering around, especially back home, just like any old spontaneous adventure. Wow, you are both such valuable and interesting people. See, boys and girls? Gay people can spend their days doing the exact same things we do. They're not so scary. Are either of you two friends with more gay people? Well, it's been difficult to be a part of the community when you're not like out publicly. There are certain individuals who I can understand on a different level because they're also part of the community, but right now, it's kind of figuring it out for myself before I commit fully. Well, my brother came out to me as gay, and so we kind of bonded over that, and it became more of a family thing. But both of us are still very closeted. Well, where did you guys go to school and grow up? I went to South Christian High School. So, like I said, Moline was a really small farm town, and West Michigan in general is very Dutch, so you can imagine. And then it's also a very Christian community, specifically CRC, a Christian Reformed church. And so, yeah, we were surrounded by a very loving, very Christian, kind of tight-knit community. Yeah, my school was very white, all white. Church, conservative overall. So, yeah, I've grown up in a Christian school, very conservative, very white. And then for church, I've worshipped all Presbyterian, which is also very conservative. And it's been mostly white for all my life, which I guess plays a part to my identity too, I figured out. And then my family kind of follows that line of conservative too. Me too. Well, I didn't realize until high school how conservative and Republican the demographic of our area was. I mean, I understood it, but I didn't realize that that wasn't what the rest of the world was like. I remember conversations in middle school about politics and stuff, and I remember we found out that one kid said his parents voted for Obama, and we were, like the rest of us, were just appalled. So, you both still go to church? Even though, you know, God is not such a big fan of boys who love boys or girls who love girls. Yep. Yeah. Every Sunday. It was just how my parents were raised. And so it's what we did. Every Sunday, there's no excuses. Did your pastor ever teach you about what it means to be gay or what God thinks about that? No. No. Well, do you remember learning anything about the LGBT community from your church? Not in church. I don't remember anything. We didn't have any sermons or anything about it, so no. Nothing. Yeah, it wasn't spoken about. I think it was a kind of a swept under the rug kind of thing. Because I don't think we had any, there were no gay couples that wanted to be married. There were no gay couples that wanted to join. There was no one that really blatantly came out at all. Exactly. I didn't really realize that it wasn't normal to have a crush on whoever, you know? I kind of grew up with this idea in my own head, and then it just never occurred to me that it was something different. And then once it did, I was like, oh shit, don't come out now. Don't be a prodigal son, you know? Well, you must have learned something about it from your family. I don't think my family ever talked about it. Mine didn't either. I just didn't know why I felt the way I did. For a long time, I really thought I was the only one in the world with these feelings. It was really lonely. I think I thought that too. But I do remember, I can't remember how long ago or how young I was, but I remember that my friend knew about sex and I didn't. So she was playing with Barbie and she was like, do you know what sex is? And I was like, no. So later I asked my mom. I was so little. But yeah, we were playing Barbies or something and we were talking about weddings and my friend was like, did you know a boy and a boy can get married? I saw it in such and such movie or something. And I was like, that's crazy. So I asked my mom, and I don't remember what she said about it. I wish I did. Oh my, that is quite the story, one. So you at least heard about it once. Did you learn anything from school? Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the verses that are like, to sleep with another man is a sin or whatever. I mean, reading about the whole thing with Sodom and Gomorrah or whatever, and the men, and the angels visited or something, and like, we want to sleep with them. And I just didn't get it. Like, sodomize? Like, that's so weird to me. And I still don't get it, or what the relevance of that passage was. But there was stuff in the Bible, but it wasn't good. So I never really thought about it. See, I only learned about stuff from the bullies. Like, that's so gay. And I was like, what's gay? Well, I was kind of dumb. But I do remember for the abstinence talk, no LGBT stuff was mentioned, like at all. I don't know. Not having learned it in a formal setting just made me feel like I was crazy. It just made me feel like I never want to come out. Definitely not to other Christians. I don't think Christians want what's best for us. Like, do I even fit the spaces as I am right now, or am I supposed to change myself? They say come as you are, but they don't really want that, even if they're pretty accepting. It's just, the feelings I get from so many Christians is just that I shouldn't be expressive or open about this. So if it is a part of who I am, then it's a part of who I am that I should be ashamed of. Like, the most you can tolerate is not who I am. Like in my family and church, it just feels like I can't be my authentic self, you know? Like, you have to put a mask on. And for so long, there's this hate the sin, love the sinner perspective. Like, you don't actually want me there. I'm just a problem for you. Like, at a root level, I'm a problem. I don't want to feel like a problem, but it's just, you don't want to damn me, but I can't feel comfortable in the same space as you. You don't want to damn me, but you don't want me to feel comfortable. So you guys really don't like Christians? I really, you aren't listening. We don't hate Christians. I think Christians still love me. I think they do. And I guess you could say they want what's best for me, but they just want what they think is best for me. They couldn't imagine the way I interpret God's love for me. The church, sometimes it's just for show, and it's not even about God. When you come with struggles and with problems, when you come and you say that you're gay, they overlook it and they minimize it to a problem. You can't approach people like problems. Like, I'm a problem to fix at a root level, and you're totally welcome except for this is wrong. This whole part of you is wrong. It's so, and they're the same ones that quote the psalm, you were knit in your mother's womb, like fearfully and wonderfully made. Do you really think that then? I don't understand being able to tell someone, like, you are loved and welcomed except for this entire part of who you are. But what about Jesus? What about Jesus? Well, what about grace? They always talk about this unconditional love, this unconditional grace, but I just can't see it the way they see it. Every time they say it's this unconditional thing that we are just given as we are, they don't realize that they just told me I have to change myself. You know, I feel like I have to do this in order to be accepted. Every time they talk about it, I can just think, God still loves you, but you're not going to go to heaven. When I was younger, I just tried to tune out every time they talked about grace because, well, it's this great thing that everyone seems to get but me. And Christians, they just don't deny that, I'm not even going to ask for, literally just let me come to church with others, accepted and loved and comfortable and not having to hide a part of who I am and not having to suppress anything. It's all we're asking. Like who we are, you don't accept it. You don't tolerate it. You don't even talk about it. And I never want to come out. So, 2, You're not out? No! Well, boys and girls, do you know what out means? Well, neither do I. But you know what? I think we have a friend who might be able to help us out. Boys and girls, say hello to Dr. Definition.
Narrator pulls a small, scientist-looking humanoid puppet from the bottom of a desk.
Doctor, say hello to all the boys and girls out there and to my two lovely gay friends, 1 and 2. Hello, everybody! What can I help you all with today? Well, Dr. 2 here says that she still hasn't come out, even though she's 16. But I don't think our friends here know what it means to be out. Can you try to explain to everyone what it means to be out? Well, that's a tough one. I'll tell you all as best as I can. So, since most ordinary people are straight, we never have to tell anybody that we are different. But if you're a boy who loves a boy, or a girl who loves a girl, the rest of the world won't know. So you have to tell them that you're not normal. Coming out is telling all the people that you love that you're gay. Well, that doesn't sound so hard. If I was gay, I would want to tell the people that I love. That's what I think too sometimes. But for some reason, people are afraid. This is shit. This is shit. That's not why 2 is still not out. We've been saying this our whole lives, and you don't get it. It's from the get-go. It's a bad thing. It's bad news. You've made it very clear that you don't want me the way that I am. So at a certain point, I don't want me the way that I am either. It is bad news. I told in probably about 7th grade, one of my best friends at the time, I remember at one sleepover saying quietly, Adri, sometimes I think I might be bi. And she said, sometimes I think that about me too. And it was like sharing bad news with a friend, like sharing a confession with a friend, a secret that it'd almost be like saying, Adri, I stole something, or it was this confession that it could not be shared. It was bad news. There's so much you kind of have to work through to just be okay with yourself. I didn't really choose to come out to my parents. So the way it happened was, by this point, almost all my friends knew, even the ones I was hesitant to tell. My siblings both knew. I was like, okay, I'm going to tell her because she's my mom, and I hate hiding stuff from her. It makes me feel like a terrible person. I think I came out to 4 people? 4 people, maybe? No, okay, I think 5. 5 people, and they were all very supportive. So then, toward the end of the summer, I had made, a few weeks before, I had made a funny video about the reason my parents' chance of having biological children were very slim, just based on each of my siblings. It got like 50,000 views. It blew up. It was great. Lots of people related to it. And then I was kind of like, well, okay, this is going super well, and I kind of had the confidence I needed to go tell my mom. And I sat her down, like in the living room at one point, and it was just us at home. And I'd been waiting for a chance that was just us at home in case she started yelling at me or something. But then my sister had told me that she heard the noise that played in the background of this video play over and over and over again, and then Mom was in her room crying. It was the afternoon she spent crying in her room, very loudly, like it wasn't hidden. I guess. And then, yeah, Dad got home. So, yeah, we found out after the fact that that's how they found out, or whatever. And I was like, hey, Mom, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I don't like hiding anything from you. And I really wanted to tell you that I've been thinking that I might, well, not might, I might be bisexual. And she kind of looked at me for a second, and she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, well, what makes you say that? And she was like, I know you, and I know you're not that kind of person. You're my daughter. I know you so well. And I was like, well, I kind of know myself too. But then they came down and we talked for 2 hours. Again, it didn't go anywhere. So my mom she's more open-minded to it a little bit. My dad was a lot more quiet the whole time. And when he did speak, it made me mad, mostly. It was just the way that we saw this video, and Ben's gay, and you're bisexual, and the way he said it, it was like this scorn. Yeah, invalidating. Like, sure, you're bisexual, you'll change your mind. We were wrong. Like, not just morally, but objectively. And then she got really upset and started crying and kind of went on this long rant about God and sexuality and how he designed his plan with Adam and Eve, and like, how would I have kids? And I'm too young to even understand what that means. And I ended up just, apologizing and going to bed for that night. And then my dad went into all homosexuality is a choice. That's his platform. He insists on it. It's a choice. So he says a bunch of stuff like that, and I look at him and I ask him, can you deny to me that the message of the Bible is just love? Like, it's just love. God is love, God loves his children, we are his children, and we are unworthy, and we're only getting redemption because of his great love. And Dad looks back at me, and he says, no. I don't know how you can possibly deny that, but he says, no, it's reconciliation. And not just, it made me mad. Like, he was telling me I had done something that needed to be reconciled. And for the next 2 days, she didn't really talk about it with me at all. And she kind of acted like everything was normal again. And it didn't come back up, ever. Like, we still haven't talked about it since then. And now she's saying, like, well, when you have a husband and kids, like, that conversation didn't even exist. It kind of made me feel like a failure, because up to that point, I had been the perfect child. Gifted, smart, talented, and then I was gay. I just had to look away for so long, and I just had to not I had to not look at them, because Mom's crying and Dad's making me mad, and it was really hard, I think, for both of us, because I don't think she expected that. Because like I said, I had always been the perfect kid, and then I was gay, I was gay. They kept saying, we'll work through this. We'll talk through this. And they insisted very often, we still love you so much. And I kind of felt like I let her down, and I regretted it a lot, and I still do. Like, sometimes it'll come up in news stories, like the LGBT community something, or like the transgender community, and I'll just feel like she's thinking about me, and the disappointment comes back. We still love you so much, and we'll work through this. You're still our child. We'll work through this as a family. But the whole time, it's leaving me thinking, well, what is there to work through? And then I feel like she's calling me out about it, or she's coming up with these, talking trash about them in front of me on purpose. And I think my brother felt the same. He's thinking, well, what is there to work through? We're adults. We are your children. This is just a part of who we are. What is there to work through? It made me want to hide it even more, because they're making fun of it. It was a problem to work through, like an issue that we as a family needed to work out. But as soon as they started making fun of it, I just wanted to hide it and just suffocate it. Get rid of it. It just felt, they said, you're the problem that we need to work out. They were like, oh, that's gross to me. Why would you do that? You're the bad one. You're the bad one. It's not great, but it gets better. It's not all of you. It doesn't have to be all of you. It's not the biggest thing about me. I think it's just a side note. I like to sing to help me feel better. Sometimes it's not even about the singing. Hey, sometimes all you can do is make some noise and let God know how you feel. Jesus loves me, this I know, 'cause the Bible...
The room feels suddenly a lot more empty, and it is clear the narrator is really alone. The puppets are clearly inanimate, decidedly just puppets.
Sometimes all you can do is make a little noise and let God know how you feel. Sometimes all you can do is make a little noise and let God know how you feel. Let God, with a capital G, know how you feel. Are you a fag? Are you a fag? Are you a faggot? Are you? Are you a faggot? Are you a faggot? God hates boys who love boys. Hate the sin, love the sinner.
Narrator lets out a peal of laughter similar to the one Meaning let out earlier. It's fucking eerie. Narrator walks over to the backpack with Meaning inside and dumps all the contents out, Meaning falling out last. The sound of metal against metal, hammer against nails is still heard. Narrator sits crisscross applesauce on the ground as he speaks to Meaning and fumbles around with the objects on the ground.
Did you hear that, minister? God hates boys who love boys. Hate. Boys and girls, can you tell me what hate means? Listen to me. That's what you want to hear, right? You never say it, but that's what you want to hear. You want to damn me, but you don't want me to feel comfortable, right? Tear me in two, please! I know you love me. I get it. I know you love... I know you love me. At least I think they do. I think they love me, except they don't like it when I'm with them, and they don't like it when I don't want to be with them. But I think they love me. They tell me they love me. Why do I feel so goddamn bad? You're still not listening! You don't want to damn me, but you don't want me to feel good? You don't want to damn me, but you don't want me to feel good? It's not great, but it gets better. God loves you, but you're not going to go to heaven. Isn't that funny?
Narrator walks over to his interview desk and grabs a paint brush from his art supplies. After squirting out red paint onto the desk, he quickly begins painting his wrists. Having covered his wrists in red paint, he spreads his arms out to vaguely put the cross panorama behind him.
It's not great, but it gets better. It's not great, but it gets better. Sometimes all you can do is make some noise and let God know how you feel. Sometimes all you can do is make some noise and let God know how you feel.